And so let's talk about the command injection. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe you should download. You could download a Windows ISO, or in fact, you can download a fully built Windows machine. If you go here, down to ED32, you'll find the link where you can download a Windows 10 VM all ready to go. You could also download an ISO and install it. That would be fine too. Yep. All right. So command injection is where it starts, I imagine. Although Linux Journey is there for people who want to brush up on basic Linux skills. And so here is one of the more common vulnerable systems. It's on every router configuration page. You'll find a place to test your network connection where you can put in an IP address and ping things. And this one here, the loopback address, is the one that works on this server. So you send pings. It shows you this reply, and you might recognize this reply. This is clearly the, good. This is the command line of reply to a ping. So what's going on here is the developer here did not write a very secure page. What the developer did was take a input from the user and just build a command line, ping -C2A, and then send that to the system. And this is how you get command injection vulnerabilities. Instead of learning how to execute what you're trying to do all in one language, you build a line of text and execute it as if somebody had typed it in at a console. And the problem is, of course, they can add extra commands here. So in addition to the IP address, I could put another command here like ls. And then I'll see LS's here. So this is a simple command injection here where you can just add extra commands up to whatever the length limit is after the semicolon, and that's the simplest kind of command injection. Now if you do a who am I, you'll see that we are www data, which is the Apache user. So we're not getting root privileges on the server, but you are getting the ability to execute code as the Apache user. And so that's one form of command injection, probably the simplest one. Now there's a couple of other ones here. Oops, that's the wrong one. This one. All right. So there's some flags to find on the server. And then here's another one that hit the Linux community a few years ago. ImageMagick is a graphics library used on many Linux distributions. And so this one will let you process a file. Let me find a file like this one. That'll do. Open that image in a new tab. All right, so I saved this image someplace so I can play with it. Right there is good. CTC9. Okay, so you can upload any image here. There. Choose a file. Downloads. There's my image. When you upload the image, it will process it using the ImageMagick library. And this, I just got some open source code, and I added some printouts so you can see what it's going to do. It's going to convert it to a 300 by 300 thumbnail in an uploads directory. And so it made this thumbnail, and when you click it, it takes you to the original image. So that's nothing very exciting, the kind of thing you'll find on a profile page of a social network pretty much everywhere. All right. But the trick is to make a file containing this text. So let me bring up whoa, that's not what I wanted. All right. Let me bring up a text editor. All right. And put in that text. And what you do is just save this with a file extension to make it look like an image file. So it's File, Save. All right, I'll put it in, say, Downloads, and call it exploit.png. That's fine. I'll replace anyone that's already there. Okay. So now if I upload this file, and we'll look at it a little more in a minute, if you choose that image, exploit.ping, and upload that one, it's not a real image, And notice this line, hello and the date. So what's happened here is the developers of ImageMagick chose to allow you to include extra data in your image file, text at some place in the image file, and you could specify like the width and height of the image, and you could fill an area with a color. And then for some reason they decided to fill an area with a color and let the color be downloaded from a website. So you can put a URL here and it will download the color from this website. And they implemented that by just using curl and adding the input from this file. So if you have the right punctuation marks to match it, you can then add extra commands here. And here's the commands they added, echo hello and date. So if I wanted to see what files are present on the server, I could just change that date to ls and save this again. And now if I upload that file, it now does hello, and here's some files you can see. So, all right. So, again, there are several flags defined here now that you can execute commands on the server. And there's a third one with the same thing. This is one of the Drupal-geddon. There were 3 vulnerabilities found in Drupal, all of them very serious. And this is running one of the Drupal-geddon vulnerable versions. And therefore, I have to put it behind a name and password to stop automated attacks from trashing it immediately. So it's a username of student1 and a password of student1. So we fill them in. All right, and so there's no content, but there's just a Drupal page there. And this one here, you can also exploit. It's easiest if you have access to a Linux system, but if you have any system that can run Python, it will work. And then this script will do it. So I probably can just run it right in the native of my Mac here. Let me bring up a terminal. All right. See what I've got here. Okay, I'm going to make a directory, Drupal. Go into there. All right. Now I'm going to nano, drew.py. All right. So there's my code. Now, the one thing about this is, again, you have the ability to execute code on the system, but there's a restriction. The output of your code goes into a file here, and you can only write to each file once. You can't overwrite or change an existing file. So you have to keep changing the name here. So I'm going to change this to CCC9A. And there's 3 places in here where that appears. All right. And by default, it's just going to put a smiley face in that file. Notice, by the way, it's injecting into some kind of user registration form where there was an injection. And again, you have to have all the surrounding punctuation right. All these apostrophes and such are necessary. And then this is going to put a smiley face into that file. That's what this proof of concept code does. So when I save this and then run it, it runs, and if it worked, it will have put a smiley face in this file on my server. So let's see if that's true. And it is. I got a smiley face. So now you can modify that script to execute commands, and there's a series of flags to find. So give this stuff a try. There's a series of flags to find with these command injections, and I'll put up the scoreboard and be able to tell how you people are doing. So I'm going to make a live scoreboard with refresh is probably all I need for now. Oh, yes, I need summary also. All right. Good. Good. I see you started doing the Linux journey, which is fine. So I'll stop this video.